Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do the eyeshadow palette tag number 2. This was created by Samanthan March and Allie Glines. They did this last year and they're doing it again this year, so there's new prompts and it's doing the rounds, so I wanted to do this tag. I think it's a fun tag and yeah, I'd like to join in. So this is my little eyeshadow palette tag for this year. So I'll link all the prompts down below. I'll also link their channels down below if you haven't seen their videos on this little topic, but I'll just get started. So the first one is my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. This is pretty hard for me because I don't really know. I'm just going to base it off of how I'm feeling. So and you might see a few repeat eyeshadow palettes in the prompts. I'm trying to keep it as different as I can, but some of them do pop up once or twice. So anyway, yeah, my all-time favorite at this moment in time is the Norvina from ABH. I tried this last year and I just think above all of the other eyeshadow palettes that I have right now, this one I would stick to and probably want to keep out of all of them. I just think it's, you know, an everyday palette that I can use. It's really beautiful and it has those beautiful shimmers. So I really, really like this one. So yeah, and I have a really nice sort of a dent going on. So yes, this would be my all-time favorite at this moment. The second prompt is your favorite right now. And this one was really hard because I don't have a favorite, but I am trying out the Natasha Denona Retro palette. This is a newer palette to me. I actually have it on today. I think this is really beautiful and I've only tried it a few times, but I think for now, yeah, this is sort of a favorite of mine. For now, I think it's really, really stunning. I'm really excited about it. So, and yeah, I feel like it kind of deserves a spot in the list, so I will add it here. The next one is Keep for the Memories. So I don't think there's really any eyeshadow palette that beats this one. I've got the original Urban Decay Naked, and I keep this not only for the memories, but also I still think it's really nice. I have a pan. I actually got that just last year, but I've had this since it released a few years ago. And yeah, I just keep it. I don't think I'd ever really get rid of it. It's my first sort of high-end eyeshadow palette that I've ever got. And it was a gift from my mum. And yeah, I like it. It's neutral. I love neutrals. I wouldn't get rid of it and I would keep it for the memories. Okay, the next one is underrated palette. There's a lot of palettes that I could add into this. And maybe this one is not underrated, but I don't see too many people talk about it or have spoken about it. And I see people declaring it and I'm like, oh, but it's so beautiful. I honestly think the California Love from ColourPop is underrated. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't have a high opinion about this. I got one of their bundles last year, so I couldn't really pick what I had in the bundle. I just picked a bundle and this was in the bundle and it's so stunning. I honestly love this palette so much. Obviously you can see I love this shade, but I actually truly love this whole palette. Maybe not so much the glitter shade, but I think it's not that bad. Yeah, I think it's underrated. I think it's really nice. Again, it's neutral, so, and it's sort of warm tone leaning, which I really, really enjoy. So it's not everyone's cup of tea. It might be a little bit boring, but for me, I think it's underrated and I really, really enjoy this. And I didn't really have any opinion about it going into it. And I was like, wow, this is such a nice palette. I really, really like this. So yeah, I'm putting it in my underrated palette section. All right, the next one is a palette that's not your favorite, but you can't really get rid of it. So I've spoken about this one before. It is the Club Nebula X Angelica NYX palette. This one I got on the first release. I was really, really excited about it. You can see I've used the shimmers quite a lot. I've had it in some eyeshadow palette projects. Honestly, I think this is a beautiful palette. I just think for me personally, it's not my vibe because of these darker tones. I just don't usually work with darker tone eyeshadows. So I won't get rid of it for the reason that the quality is amazing. It is unique, it is discontinued, it's special. I love the packaging, I love Angelica, but it's not my favorite. So it kind of deserves to be in this spot, but yeah. I just think the shimmers are gorgeous. It's just these ones down here I don't really touch. So to me, it sort of always falls down below the rankings. Okay, so the next one is Fade Collab. I just realized I have no lipstick on, so I'm sorry. The next one is Fade Collab, and I picked the Jacket Aina X ABH palette. I just think I love this palette, And I guess technically, yes, this was a collab, so this is the only one that I feel like makes sense to be in this category for me. I don't have too many palettes that are collab palettes, apart from I've got the Club Nebula, and I might have one or two others, but they wouldn't be favorites of mine. So this one is definitely would be like an all-time favorite. This was my favorite palette in 2020, and it's still really up there. I just obviously like Norvina better than this one, but I just think this is so beautiful. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite collab in terms of the eyeshadow palettes that I have. I really, really love this palette, and I haven't used it in a while, so really want to pull it out soon. Okay, so the next one is the 2021 favorite, which was my Norvina, and it technically is, but because I don't want to repeat myself, I actually have decided to talk about the Chilling in Chicago by BH Cosmetics. This is number 2 in 2021, but you know, if I hadn't tried the Norvina, this would have been my number 1 that I tried last year. It's very reflective, but I just love it. I love the neutrals. I hit pan in it really, really fast without even really trying, to be honest. I had it in a pan those eyeshadows, but the pans are pretty shallow, so it's pretty easy, and I just think it's so beautiful, and the quality is stunning. And this is another one that I really want to pull out and use more, because I really, really love it, and I love it so much that it's almost like I don't want to use it, but I should use it. So yeah, I really, really love this, and that would be definitely one of the favorites from last year. So next up is a palette that you didn't expect to love. So the one I want to pull is the bronze palette from Juvia's Place. I don't really want to talk about this brand too much, but I absolutely love this palette, and I didn't expect to love it as much as I do. I just think this pop of sort of reddish orange is just stunning, and just so gorgeous and so pigmented. So yeah, didn't expect to love it, but really love this palette. Next up, a palette that sparks joy. So I am going to pick my Beauty Bay Book of Magic. I just think this palette is actually quite versatile. I really, really enjoy it. I have 3 pans in it. I'm just really loving this palette. Yes, it's very, very blue leaning, which I don't usually pull, but no, I really enjoyed this palette, especially recently. I had it in sort of a focus palette for a month, and yeah, I really, really love it, and it does spark me joy, because whenever I use it, I always have a good time. I have good looks. I've never had a bad look, and the shimmers are stunning. And honestly, out of all the like the eyeshadow palettes that Beauty Bay has come out with, they look really, really stunning. And I know the Age of Opulence is very similar to this, but maybe more like darker jewel tones. I honestly think this is the best one that they've done, but I'm biased because I haven't tried the other ones, but I still think this is the best one. So next up is newest palette in your collection. So the Retro from Natasha Denona is one of the newest ones, but I also got the Sigma Corda Rose at the same time, and I haven't tried this one. So this technically is the newest one because I still have yet to try it. It's just so beautiful. I can't wait to test this out. And yeah, I was excited to be able to pick it up. I got it from LOOKFANTASTIC, which, you know, it's pretty hard to find this palette, to be honest, in the UK. There are places here in Portugal, but I was doing an order on LOOKFANTASTIC anyway, so I just decided to order it from the UK, and I got here pretty fast, so happy about that. But yeah, really excited to start using that when I can. And then the last prompt is the first palette you used in 2022. So I had to look back on my photos in my camera reel because I didn't know which one, because I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in projects. And I had a bunch of photos all the way up, like on 31st of December, I was like, no, it's not that one, it's not that one. And then finally January 1st, I was like, okay, I can see what I used. And it's actually the Naughty Nude from Huda Beauty. So I didn't even realize this was the first palette that I used this year, but I was. And I was just testing it out. And you know what? It's really not my favorite. I think it's very beautiful and stunning, and I have to give it a little bit more love. But I have tried to really get into it, and I have yet to create a look that I find really, really inspired and interesting with this palette. So for me, it's a little bit of a letdown, especially considering it's sort of a pricier item with Huda Beauty. But I do like it. I just don't love it, and I think that's where I need to sort of figure out. There's a lot of shades still that I haven't used as well, so I definitely need to play around a little bit more. But yeah, that was the first palette that I used this year. So there you are, that is my eyeshadow palette tag. I ran through this really, really quickly, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you next time. Bye.